look at this. Look at oh, I should. This is Grabbus. I'm Dippin' Rat. I am gonna test the game. This is a rat game. You can see there's this teeth there. That's a rat, and then there's another thing, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, I found this game a couple of years ago, probably in 2024. That was a couple of years ago, and I've played a few different builds of it. It is still in early access. And actually, just announced that he's about to, that his next build's going to be about adding a whole bunch of stuff and such. So, here's what I'm doing. I've played several builds, and the very first time I wrote a whole bunch of notes about it, and then I think I played like a second build and a third build, and then the fourth build I had the idea, let's write more notes, and then maybe even do a stream about it. And actually I already did the stream, and it didn't turn out because I forgot that I had notes already, so I was saying everything that I was saying last time, basically. Anyway. That was a test. This is another test. I'm just figuring if I'm going to write all this stuff down. I need to make sure it's easy for someone to read if I'm testing and trying to get feedback. Or maybe I can just talk about it and go through that. So that's what I'm hoping. All right. Well. You can see, here's my old notes, and I will go through these notes if I can. And then do a couple of the new notes, because, I mean, none of this first stuff is the same. Alright, let's talk about that first build. Well, title screen, let's talk about the title screen. Yeah. This is very, very 90s, and I've technically played a lot of 90s games, but still not really in this style, not really the big, fuzzy mascot style. So, Jazz Jackrabbit is yeah, but it's very distinct at the very beginning. Options, I'm not sure if I like this moving back and forth, but it is memorable. It's definitely eye-catching, so that's positive. And remember I had a problem with this. So I can click on the volumes, then I can't click on the arrows. I have to use arrow keys, and can go all the way down. Can go from 0 to 100, which probably isn't good and could scare someone if they're at 5%. And so yeah. Okay. Play. Let's just play. Yeah, like I said, I tested this a couple weeks ago, and then I didn't like how it turned out. We're gonna try it again. Test let's play a new game. I'm playing on Windows with keyboard and mouse. So I'm done with that. So the very first time I played, I started a quick dungeon, which I don't think is even in this version. But that's interesting. Then, here's what I thought about the first level. Where do I talk about the full game? Okay. Let's talk about it. There is a long tutorial at the beginning of this, and I both like and don't like the tutorial. What I found with this game is there are certain things that the game does not want to tell, and it won't tell you. It's supposed to be a little bit mysterious, where you have to experiment a bit and figure out rules But then that's contrasted by this very front-heavy tutorial, and I'm pretty sure I've read that the guy wants to, Fox and Pleasant wants to do the tutorial, but I'll just give you my thoughts anyway, real quick. I like how it's written in terms of, like, the style. There's flair to it. There's certain sentences I like. But here's the map of Styx. Scroll as far as you'd like, it keeps going on and on. We have an endless world. And then it tells us all about all of this stuff, which the world put it. See, that's good to know at the beginning. I am trying to do this quick, so I'm not going to read everything. Village generators. This is an important thing. As I said, I've played like 4 builds of this. I'm pretty sure all of this info was in the first build, but I did not figure out how to use this until the 3rd build. Because it is telling me right now on the 3rd screen, and I'm not even going to need this for long. So, well, actually, I probably can use it in a couple screens. I just haven't. I've always used it afterwards. But anyway, the cycle clock, I can add sand to turns also pass when clearing tables. So cycle fuel is the thing that we see in the hourglass. My mouse is over there. I'm trying to circle the words here, but like, my mouse cursor doesn't show up. But anyway, there's the hourglass below the words there. Good. Headquarters. And many more features are planned. So that's what he said his next build is going to have. Many more features. Okay. Something I noticed in this build, specifically this build, is that when I went to explore the world, I saw a lot more biomes than I was used to, or at least I thought I did. It felt like there was no stuff. You know, I kind of like where's that beginning? It's lost it. There. Okay, these things down here, these are important. I think if I go to the options, there's somewhere where it talks about you can display controls. Yes! When I first played this, I didn't have this, and I'd say this should definitely be default turned on. At least I'm pretty sure it was there. Okay. Because these are there, I was able to figure out tab to go into build mode, and let's just... any of these tiles will work. These we've got the double peninsula, or home base. And the first thing we need to do is go into here. Okay. Even stuff I haven't written. Yeah, my keyboard on my laptop, I could try using the F keys, but I need to press function in order to use the F keys, and if I don't do it right, it'll change other stuff. So I don't like using those. Okay. I think this has changed. Let's go. Level 1, Wild Meadow. I don't know what this one was called. Let's keep going. More tutorial. Like I said, lots of words, and I like the words. Pardon our dust, I like the style. Says these buttons compel most. Yeah, okay, there's a little thing. Okay. I think that's how I wanted to try getting it in the first one. Actually, I need to press space. Also, there are enemies here. Okay. I said that somewhere. I was going to like cross off stuff when I said it, but I don't know where it is. Oh. It took me a moment to figure out how to get the weapon, and there are so many monsters in the tutorial. Yeah, the first level, this is all randomly generated, so can get really busy in the first level, and I have had first runs where the first level is a good tutorial level and first runs where it is not. This one seems not, just because the enemies are so close. Okay. Got a weapon, but just don't... This is like the one sentence that I think sounds weird, because like I am going to swing it around. I mean, I'm going to swing Grabbus around. Anyway, Grabbus has the ability to absorb potency from weapons and fire its projectiles from its mouth. And we've got 84%. And as it is fired, it is drained. The very first time I read that, I figured, ooh, I need to save up my potency and like only shoot when it really matters. And I don't think that's the right way to play the game. That's what I took from that sentence, though. Is that I need to be really careful about how much I use. Quick slots. I haven't really used quick slots. Well, I've been using yeah, I have quick slots. Okay. Get rid of them now. Okay, I want to okay, well, let's read that. I feel like you don't need, as long as you show him getting hit and it's obvious, and it was obvious, there was a sound, was there a little bit of screen shake? I feel like there was some sort of impacts there, and there's the number. If it's clear that he's getting hits, everyone should understand that we're losing HP, and HP is shown up there. I feel like that doesn't need to be said. It's one of those things where, do you need to explain every single thing? I don't know. Probably if people are playing your game, it's not the first game they've ever played like this. Use the shield. Okay, that is a good thing to shield. That we have a shield. Okay. And the way the shield works, maybe it's okay to have the tutorial about it. Yes. Remember to avoid damage. Yes. That is unnecessary. Here is the... Let me just run away. Okay. Yeah, I got caught in there. And actually, if I didn't know what that was, I might not have known that I couldn't even go through that if this was my very first level. So, okay, well, I'm gonna start shooting. Oh, I have a pretty slow one. Okay, well, I got both of them without too much difficulty. Great. I think the first build must be quite different because there are a couple things here that don't make sense. This is a very small level for level 1. It is still randomly generated, but it's different from the randomly generated levels. The first build. And when I say the first build, I mean the first build that I did, which I wish I mentioned. Anyway, see if you fall, it doesn't hurt. That's not true anymore, or maybe... true then. I'm not gonna grab it yet. Oh yeah, and I mentioned the Vibe Radar, which forever I didn't use. Only now on the 4th build, my 4th try, playing this, I finally started using that map. So yeah, I lose 2 HP. There was a bonus area in the first one. That is interesting. I'm so glad there are no enemies now and I can experiment with the weapons. I only have 1 weapon now. Okay. And then here's something I did where I tried to figure out all of these signs connected to the weapons and what would happen when I merged. I didn't merge them manually. I stopped typing the weapons for a while. I might have meant trying. Okay. I put the figured out what red, orange, and yellow symbols mean. Let's see what those are. Okay, Nico. I'm attempting to stream again. I think it's going a little bit better. Resume. That was a little super. Okay, so. Okay. Here's the item wheel. Item fusion could be initiated from here. It's good that you mentioned fusion, because if there was no mention of fusion, I would never try doing something like that. Although, it was kind of confusing for me the first time I tried it. The controls definitely are confusing the first time. I have absolutely gotten used to them now. Except for I forgot what the inventory button was for a moment. I have it as caps lock just because it's in a nice place. I can't remember what it was originally. I know that's changed. I changed it. Okay. I was going to... Alright, there's a red and orange thing there. These are actually very similar. One of these is saying that my weapon's going to go a little bit to the left, but my bow is going to go a little bit to the left, and then we're going to go a little bit to the right. Let's test it out. Is that the opposite direction? Oh, okay. So if I do 2, they're going green and blue below that. I didn't figure out, but I figured out. The blue is the size of the projectile. So I have very large projectiles. And the green is the speed of it, or rather it's the slowness of it, because slow is to the right and speed is to the left. I think just my instinct is that speedy should be on the right side. But I'm thinking for projectiles, larger is definitely better, so better is on the right. For speed, I'm not sure whether slow or fast is better. It kind of depends on the situation. Slow means your projectiles will last a long time. And they'll hang around the battlefield and be able to do damage. So like if you miss with your initial shot, they'll still linger for a while. So that makes them good. But I also like fast weapons that can help me shoot something a distance away and not take 10 seconds to do something. So, I don't know which is better. I think the order should be flipped. I think speed should be on the right. But then again, slow being on the right did clue me into that also being good in certain situations. Or I don't know if that's what clued me. Here's another thing that was confusing is how do I balance? It's a middle grab button, so I know folks okay. Yeah, see, he's got much larger range, and things are just kind of random. stuff. Come back. Also, I don't... Ah, Quantagon. There's still a little shard of hardened space. That's another line I like. Candy currency for trade. We haven't had any shops yet. So that will be maybe in the next build. Excited for that. I'm really excited. Something special may happen if you collect Quantagons past your wallet capacity. I keep forgetting to check on this. I can't remember what happens. It is so hard to hit him with that. Okay. Is there anything else on this? There's that. I think this is too small and too cramped for a tutorial. Stop writing down the new weapons I have. By level 2 in that first build, apparently I had 11 weapons already. Yeah, there should definitely be fewer than 11 weapons. I think in the third build, the last build I did, there were definitely too few. I think the balance is probably right now. Maybe it could be bumped up a little bit. Oh, the dialogue. Yeah, I must have missed that tutorial. Found the gameplay. Want to bounce disappear after a while, so you get I have not always liked what happens when I fuse weapons. I can't actually fuse any weapons, so I only have one weapon, so I don't have all the time. I guess there are 200 weapons, so there's also options. Yeah, I think there should be a couple. Just respond to my Twitter question. I have no idea what the Twitter question was. Oh, it must have been how to start a full game. Okay. Well, I've already helped you by having a question and asking me how to start a full game. Okay. Let me ignore that for a little while. I'll do that first. Let me finish. No. I was about to jump down. Sorry, I was playing another game that's also in levels, and the way you enter the next level is by jumping down to the next level. So I was about to do that. That has nothing to do with this. Okay, I was... Alright, there should really be, beep, 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 beep. Legend of Zelda style thing that happens when you're low health. Maybe not the whole time, but like just when you get to low health. Well, I am blaming that to the weapon I had. Come on. Let me try to get through this pretty quickly. Here, so this is a much faster weapon. I can snipe with it. Yeah, much better. Okay. Onto this floor. This is very similar to the floor I just with a little area here and then that's levels, I do like looking down at the previous level. Kind of makes me want to go back to the previous level. Implies that maybe you can do something with it, or at least it makes me want to do something with that. That's just adding more stuff to the game. I don't know if that's a intended feature or not. I like the look. That's kind of my first thought about this game. I say first thought, I haven't said it yet. Is I absolutely love the look and the sound. That is part of the reason I've kept playing, even though it's a fairly basic tutorial. Sorry, not basic. I mean, basic game so far. Without a lot of features. So despite the lack of features, there's another thing. There it goes. Yeah, if something falls off, it ends up just dropping back onto the box. Including myself. Oh. Just like that. Okay. Advance. I still have plenty of sniping is something I can do. This is a move that I really struggle to do. First of all, it's kind of far away from me. This one's knocked out. It's maximum hit points. When the health is half or less, a small chance that I'm stunned. Hold on to the shield button. So grab it and then hold on to the shield button. You know what? I wish I could go back. Another thing. You should have a back button for tutorials. Back and forth. So since I missed the thing, I remember what it says. I need to grab it and I need to use the shield. By the way, using the shield button to throw sometimes works on other stuff too. I'm not sure what that would be. There we go. That is a move that I tend to mess up. Press the wrong button for shield sometimes. So I don't grab from it correctly. Also, I can see that they're fusing. I think it wasn't obvious to me at first that the enemies were fusing. And the other thing about grabbing something using the is for some reason I always pull the opposite direction I want to. Like if I grab something here and I want to knock it into this wall, I need to pull this way, but my instinct is to pull towards the wall. I mean, it makes sense, it's just... First of all, you don't get many chances to use that stuff. I think the stuff should happen a little bit more often, so I really try this. But since it's rare enough, and since it's a little bit complicated, I often do it wrong. Okay, check it out, a treasure orb. Double grab is important. I tried to use the shield. No, I didn't use the shield. I used the middle grab. Yeah, again, I did the wrong thing for shield. Well, I don't use the shield enough. That's what that is telling me. Yeah, come on. Okay. Okay. Let's stop talking and start fighting. Pretty sure the shield. Oh! No! Okay, well, before... I'm gonna say that I finished that because I'm just... This isn't playing the game, this is me trying to talk about it. I will go back through that. Let's talk about the overworld. I know there are a lot more features intended for the overworld that I have not made. But here's the thing I took a long time to figure out. Actually, there's two things. So one of them right now. This clock! I could not figure out what to do with it. I eventually figured out I should be able to do something with that. Like, I read the tutorial enough times that I did eventually catch that third part. But then I didn't know how to actually do it. I kept trying to click on the thing and doing stuff. Eventually, I turned these on, and I realized T to fill clock. That is the only way I knew how to fill it. Suddenly, time goes faster, which is really helpful. I did not figure that out until my third. Because I had to wait for new towers to appear. Yes, that said something about this. Yeah, it wasn't very clear what either of those are. I think and I guess the question is, how important is that for the character? You want them to just use them and try to figure it out themselves? Or Quantagon hold is hold Quantagons there, that's good. Start with fast. I don't think I still know what that one is, actually. Cycle Tank. I realize can contain more of these, which I had a lot of control. Still don't know that one. Okay. I think they're all banks, essentially. One's called a bank, one's called a tank. Okay. There must be a third thing. Okay. Then, here, item storage is new for this build. I can't look at it. I am gonna have to finish that tower. And that all could have been avoided if I hadn't demonstrated that I could fall and get hit 2 damage. Okay, evolution grid. This is the other thing I did not figure out. I did not figure this out until my first attempt at live streaming this 2 weeks ago. So the fourth build, I did not figure this out. But I do like it, actually. I don't know why I just never read this. I mean, it took me a couple builds to actually turn that on, but I should have figured that out before. So I just go to one. I don't have any points. I'm gonna have to do that before I talk about it. Let's do this. I think the first level should definitely get 2 weapons. Because part of the fun of the game that I figured out really quickly in the first build is trying out all the different weapons. So actually, that would be a really good idea for the tutorial. for first timers, that was one of the things that hooked me. That's one thing that's missing. Red, orange, and yellow. Ooh. I think this is a thing I noted in the most recent. I don't know if it's changed from previous builds, but I feel like when I'm grabbing an item, I should be able to get it from just slightly further away. So like, it's something here and I go up to get it and then I come back. Wait, I didn't actually get it. I noted that this build. I don't know if it was actually changed to this build. I forgot that. So the red, this thing is going to turn quite sharply, and then it's going to split into 3, and then it's going to stop. Stops and it stays in place for a little while, and it is medium speed. It is slightly more than medium large. Okay. This I do definitely understand. Weirdly, his attacks aren't going anywhere near me, so I can actually use that. Okay. That's something I never knew. I definitely don't use the shield. The green one? I don't think I've seen the green one before. I've played a couple hours of this build. I think that just... I should have looked at how much it was. I think that was just more of these things. Or maybe it's less of those things. I don't know. Did we get another item? Yeah! When I said item, I meant weapon. Obviously, those things are. Weapon, let me not test it right this second, though. I think that's good for talking about. Things I'm learning even in several builds. The question I mentioned earlier, or a thing I mentioned earlier, is there's a philosophy in this game where the game language doesn't want to tell you everything, and that's kind of at odds with the tutorial as it stands. So I don't know if they want to do a text tutorial or entirely figure it out yourself tutorial with like some button prompts, which is kind of what it does. Ooh, did I finally finish the level? I think up there. That is 1. Okay. So the green thing couldn't have been less. It had to have been more. I'm guessing 5 or something. Or maybe that's a guess. I don't know. And then what? Okay, right when you get that thing. Again, the third card tells you about the sand. But there really should be something when you pick up the sand. If we're going down that philosophy of let's tell the player that. And yeah. So anyway, I think if the game designer wants to go the route of not telling you stuff, then it does need to make some things a little more. The problem is the controls with using your mouse buttons, all three, the left, right, and center ones. That definitely needs to be explained somehow, because that is confusing. I think I would prefer less text, although, like I said, I liked most of the text that we got, because I like there's a little bit of flavor. I liked that. Oh yeah, I chose the other one, and I think that was 3 or 4s. That's why I finished. Okay. Let's go to item storage. I do think you should be able to fuse just right here. I think the item storage should work the same as your inventory in game, where if I can fuse items then I should be able to do it. I think. But I am glad that there is item storage, and it is functional. Okay, here. Do I not have any points? Do I have to finish this one? Okay. Let's finish another thing. Well, actually, let me take a break. Yeah, the first tower is 5 levels. I think that's the largest number of levels. So yeah, things were definitely different in this first build. Okay. Tend to never use consumables. Oh! I was thinking about this way back then. Cool. Later I'll try to break them. I always forget to do that. And developers I think some of these... This is... I was saying something similar to this out loud. I think some enemies are merging together. I just noticed larger enemies and fewer enemies over time. I ruined my favorite large slow weapon by fusing it. Now it's slow and small. Might be starting to see some fusing patterns. So, figuring out fusing patterns, I kind of tried to do that just in my head, and I sort of couldn't do it. But the problem is there's so much else going on. If the only thing I was doing was combining weapons, and really, I should be able to just stop at the end of a level. Because there's nothing stopping me from doing that. So I guess that's all. Anyway, I think I did everything from day 1. There's a lot there. Once I figured out how to do that, of confusing weapons by purpose, that was good. Yeah, I didn't figure out how silence speeds work. Is there anything I don't want this to be super long, so I don't think I actually need to play it. I'm just gonna start this. Yeah, I like using this music. Caps lock is closer than tab for me. Elixirs. I have not gotten very many items this run. I do think there need to be more items. There are more than there were last time, but there's still need to be items. Yeah, because I've barely fused any items this build because I've hardly had anything to do. There's 3 things I did. I think there was another one that I did the previous day. 4 relics, yeah, there was another. I'm not doing well at this reducing my inventory thing. Okay, that is a problem of having too many items. If maybe the inventory should be a little larger. I think it's good that it's because I just started this sentence and I forgot how the sentence started. So I have to continue. It's tougher, that's true. I never tried to break the game. Maybe I'll see if I can do that. There's a scene in it was back then. I have revisited the tutorial several times. Okay. Let me go to the notes about this run. Background info as I've played 3 previous builds. I'm pretty sure I had played more than 5 hours. Right now it says 8 hours. I did find the notes from previous builds, and I'm very intrigued by the game. I want more. Like I said, I feel like there are more types of land in this tutorial. At least I know there's types of land. I don't think there are tutorials for either of those. And that isn't saying there needs to be. This is just, I've noticed there wasn't. Yeah, pretty much every first level I'm doing in this build is really tiny. Good dodge ratio. What did that mean? That meant when something is shooting at me, like it can graze me and I won't be hurt. Like the ratio I meant of like how large the projectile is versus how many pixels of Grabbus Morris are touching it. So like if I'm entirely in the projectile, obviously I'm getting hit, but I can raise against it and not get hit. That feels good. I mentioned that I think fast should be on the right side. T, I only figured that out on the 3rd build after several hours of playing how to actually do that. Oh, that. I was trying to combine items, and that uses the same buttons as leaving. So I think I was just next to the flower ball trying to combine items. And that wasn't really a problem, because I could just combine them later. It was annoying. And I eventually found out, yeah, I can figure out what floor I'm on. I'll look at that. This is a couple enemies really far off the edge of the level, and if I don't have a weapon that shoots out pretty far, then they are really hard to get. I think the last stream I did, I definitely encountered one of those. Let me mention that. Okay. Yeah, I still have that also. Those are all things I've talked about. There are couple other things I can think of, like I said, this evolution grid, I've only figured out the last time playing 2 weeks ago how this actually works. And actually, I like it. I don't know why I never read that. I tried. Apparently, I need to hold. I think maybe when you click, you should have a little word that says hold, so, and that'll make it more obvious. Okay. But I can get one of these 4 things, and then there's empty nodes. I like that. This is kind of a procedurally generated thing itself. I often do not like evolution rules. They've got 100 things on them, and I keep reading every single one. And actually, there's only like 5 different things on them. Or there's a couple more. And then the challenge is not finding what we want, really. It is not overwhelming in that sense. It's more like there are a lot of empty nodes, so can I find a good path that gets me where I want? I like that a lot better than anything that just has way too much progress. Okay. So I don't have any nodes. Okay, is there anything else I can do? I could try breaking the ground, but I'm not sure actually how I do it. Well, you know what? That is one way of breaking the game, is I tried the second tower instead of the first tower. Has that changed something? I think I should have no points, and I didn't get them. I'm not sure. I can't think of how you get them. Also, well, usually I see somewhere around the tower there's a mine I can go to. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish the stream by playing. Oh, scroll. I'm gonna try to finish this tower, and I'll do it quickly. Oh, I don't have any buttons. Actually, that's important. That is important news. I came with an item, but not a weapon, and I do not have a weapon. Okay, well, I will stay here for a moment. That also felt like a weird death animation. Huh. Okay, I'm actually finding potential bugs. That's cool. Okay, storage. Let's get these things in here. Okay, what I was saying is I've got some other stuff to do. Like, I could try playing a whole bunch more after this, but I'm just going to do this tower and then see if I get no points from it. And then I will save this. Well, it saves on me. Oh, it might not actually. I don't know. I will save and return title after I do this. So it's this one. Let's do it. Let's see if anything else interesting happens. Here's... Hardly, yeah, there should be a lot of room to dodge in this level. There just not. At least I could shoot around corners. That's working. Now let's do it. I don't know if I can survive this level. Jeez. As I said the first time I played, I was trying to be really methodical. actually decrease very slowly, so it's better to go kind of bullet time. I did realize that. I'm pretty sure I realized that pretty like, oh, I was at 99, and now after this level I'm at 97. I can improve, but I can something like that. Also, something that's weird is how the enemies' attacks can be different colors too. That's not a bad one. I can't snipe with it, but I can go protect it. Yeah. This one has nothing on its first. Okay, now that I know some of the fusing rules, I know that if I use 2 weapons, one of the cards that I skimmed through, or maybe didn't read at all, was A plus B does not equal B plus A when you're combining weapons. So this weapon has the dash, which means nothing. It's just taking up a spot uselessly. So if I started with one of these weapons, combine it with this one. Oh! These ones have the same second. So let me try this. Let me also see 69% and 99%. They're actually pretty close on the time and size. So I don't know if that will actually change it. But let me use this weapon. This one. Should essentially get the same thing. I started. That is the same, but now it's way back at 95. Size. I forget. But yeah, there are big, slow weapons. That is a good wall. And then this is. Sniping weapon, so I find anything that I need to snipe. Grabbus. Extend Grabbus. Oh yeah, oh, the other thing I wanted to say is just destroying all of these things do it. Will it do something? Right now it does not. It provides cover, so you might not want it. Although I kind of prefer just having it. Which these levels here are definitely not. I've definitely encountered some open levels, but this is not that. I forget what these are called. Are these the big cores? Big core. Another weapon. There's another one that has bad starts. This isn't bad. I would love for it to like sprinkle something. But is there anything down here? Random thing I noticed, if I go off screen, I stay at the position I was at, which is smart. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I was gonna fuse actually. Oh, yeah, but here it says A plus B equals 9. Oh, that... Oh! Fusion Sparks. I totally forgot about that. I don't think I've ever run out of Fusion Sparks. And I have seen all tutorials. Cool. So yeah, I don't like the second thing this or the first thing this but I also don't want to get rid of the 4. So it's weird. I think this weapon is easier to use than that one. But individually, I like the red. This red better than that red. And I like this orange better than that red. So, the size, I definitely want the larger size. But I can't remember, I don't know which one. Speed is roughly the same. Let's ignore that. Maybe I'll combine this with this. Then I can finally determine A and B. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 6 and 7, and this is 3 and 4. 6 and 7. Or the 6 and 7. Okay. You keep blue for A and green for B. That's pretty good for this one. I'm gonna like this. It's a bit smaller, right? Wait, no, it's the same size. It's faster. I don't know. Anyway, it's a little faster. Maybe slow should be on the right side. So, wow. All of those are staying on. I really need to kill something. Oh yeah, I remember one thing. Now, when I look at the inventory, I can see what level I'm at. I'll do that real quick. For the longest time, I didn't know how to know what level I was at besides just memorizing. don't fall off. Still don't fall off while collecting these. Oh, I'm full again. I guess I'll do that. And then I could try other things. I don't know. Okay, now. So I've gotten the clock stuff. I can press T to do that, but that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. Still no points. Okay, no points. Did I break it? I don't know. But I do not have no points right now. Is it worth doing one more tower? Let's see if I get no points. Problem is, I don't know if that's reachable. But, I am gonna quit at that. Because, like I said, I've got some other stuff. 3D printing is probably not. Okay, so I hope this was useful for somebody. Maybe a developer. Or maybe it's just entertaining for someone. I've been streaming for over an hour, so that wasn't really any shorter than streaming. Okay. I mean, the problem is I kept losing. That was the problem. Save and return to title. Any final thoughts? I did mention this like a little bit. Which, when there's this much text on the screen, I think that's a bit much. I don't know. This much experience. I mean, the fact that all the letters have here it's different when I'm hovering over it, but they all have a primary color and a secondary outline. That helps for that a lot. That's I don't think I have anything else to say. Okay. I will surely keep streaming games on this channel. I don't know if I'll be game testing or whatever. This was a good time. I like the game. I'm excited for whatever comes next. And that is all. Squeaky link.